Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Confessions of the Fleshy Star. I was feeling called to sort of record a new video. I actually wanted to talk about another topic for this video, but I feel like just what we're going through right now, maybe kind of just flow with it and see what comes out. So, the eclipse is coming up. It is April 6th. I just celebrated my 32nd birthday on April 3rd, and I got this Viking hairdo because I live in Eugene, Oregon, and it's the land of Vikings. So, and I've also been binge watching Vikings lately, and I don't know, I probably was a Viking in a past life. I feel very called to the Viking lifestyle, and also people, I think in Oregon, in general, born and raised Oregonians, especially along the coast, they like Viking people because the weather is super intense and rainy and water, lots of water. So, hardy people. People around here are really hardy. So, yeah, it's April 6th. The total solar eclipse is happening on April 8th. That's on Monday. We're going to see it partial out here, so it'll be, I think, 10:30 to 12:30, 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m. that we'll see it. It'll be in, totality, even though it'll be partial, I think it's 11:22. So I'll probably use my glasses and see if I can see stuff. Maybe do some solar eclipse water magic. See what happens. Yeah, I saw the total solar eclipse back in 2017 when I was in grad school in Idaho, when I lived in Moscow, Idaho. And it was a very intense time period. But I think I want to talk about, there's a lot of fear-mongering around this eclipse, the energy, the whole media, and people who are going to view it in totality. There's a lot of fear mongering, and there's a lot of fear mongering with the energetics of what's going to happen. And we've been having eclipses since the dawn of time, and eclipses are they eclipse things out of your life. So it's a lot of ending of old cycles, old patterns and things. And that's a good thing. We want to evolve. We want to move forward and progress and move through things. And so it's interesting that this eclipse correlates with Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is about looking back on what you have gone through in the past 6 months. And so, in this eclipse cycle, looking back on, the life you've lived in the past 6 months, themes of lessons and things that you've been going through, old patterns you've been working with, is really important to reflect on that and see what's not serving your highest good, what's holding you back from being the best version of yourself or moving forward, and just sort of making amends, learning the lessons, letting it go, and doing new patterns, new habits. Starting over. You are able to change. That's super important. Everyone can change. So yeah, talking about the eclipse and using the energy for good intentions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. Just go with it. Flow with it. And don't neglect your feelings. Move through them. You got to feel it to heal it. So I know the energy's kind of been a little intense. I've had headaches and stuff. I had this wild 8-hour QHHT session I facilitated for one of my clients on the day after my birthday. So 2 days ago on Thursday. And there was a lot of big energy coming in for me. So I had to rest that day. But I've had a lot of good forward progress movement in my life lately. I went to the gym 3 times this week. I'm going to go later when my husband gets home from a powwow. So I've been hitting the gym. I've been wanting to do that, but it's like now the right time, you know, and it feels effortless. I feel good. I feel like I'm setting like more good patterns in my life. I keep going to the Remind place in Springfield, working on my energetics and like with frequency medicine, sound medicine, and I've been really just getting better. Like, it's really refreshing to be seeing like my physical health improve. They've helped me with my allergies. Like, I've been outside, I've been working in the garden, working in the backyard, planting seeds and stuff. It's been really nice to be outside. I can tell like I'm getting tan. So I'm like super happy that like there's lots of forward progress movement in my life. I really feel like, oh my gosh, leading up to my birthday, I think a few days before my birthday, well, let me backtrack a little bit. This whole year like has been like steady forward progress movement. I've been connecting with this energy all year that like I'm getting better. Things are improving. I'm moving forward. I'm moving on. I'm moving past this period in my life. And I kind of realized like a few days before my birthday, my Saturn return was pretty awful and pretty long. I really feel like I have just moved out of my Saturn return. My Saturn return, I feel like lasted like 2 years, which it can. You know, it's supposed to happen when you're 30. I just turned 32. But seriously, like, I don't know. My late 20s to like this year have been fucking rough. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was pretty good, like 28, 29, but 29 was just like so, 28, 29 was just like so much karmic lessons in love. And then I feel like 30, 31 has been like a lot of shadow work, like a lot of like dark, the depths, the recesses of like my internal life just like haunting me that I've had to like work through. And it's been really intense. Like, seriously, like Saturn returns are no joke. And I feel for people going through them right now during this energy. Like, it was really rough for me. But the energy for me personally, I feel like I've finally moved out of it. I feel like it's over. Like, it's no more. I'm moving past it. And it's just like, I'm going to get better and better. I'm getting healthier. I'm getting more active. I'm like reclaiming myself again. These parts of myself, like, but the shadow work, you can't avoid that. Like, I feel like I've been in a spiritual awakening my whole life, obviously. We all are going through spiritual awakening. But some people are more conscious of it than others, right? And I feel like, you know, some people are more proactive in their spiritual awakening than others, right? And so I feel like I've been really proactive in my spiritual awakening since I was starting when I was 14, but like very, very proactive since I was about 17. And I definitely feel like the energy is just moving forward so quickly. But in the height of like my spiritual awakening, I'd say from age, I don't know. There's been periods of like really high, happy, love and light energy, and then some low in between in like my 20s, you know, when I was like with my ex-husband and stuff. But like overall, I've really just been like love and light. Like, let's think about like love and God consciousness and like the higher dimensional energy, right? But like the past few years, shadow work, oh man, it's been tough. Like, especially because I'm pretty optimistic and happy. And being with those shadow aspects of yourself, like those darker parts of yourself, especially if you like ignored it a lot or like you don't want to experience it or feel it, it's rough. So I feel like a lot of us have been going through like collective dark night of the souls, which is just your shadow work and feeling really low and really down and stuff. And I think, you know, I'm glad that I worked through it and I like really sat with it and I like experienced it and I acknowledged it and I'm like integrating it. And now I'm like moving forward and like it's okay when I have bad days. It's okay when like old patterns come up. Like my husband and I, like, you know, in a good relationship, you're going to trigger each other's old love wounds, each other's childhood wounds, love wounds, adolescent wounds, everything. And like in a good partnership, like you'll work through it, you know, and like you'll create healthy patterns. You'll have like disconfirming experiences where, you know, your partner will give you love instead of, you know, when you're with karmic soulmates and you're arguing and you just wound each other because you're already wounded and you don't have tools to love each other because you don't love yourself. Well, in like a divine counterpart relationship, like, you know, one will hold space while the other one, you know, is triggered. And my husband and I take turns doing this a lot, where like, you know, some of my old wounds are triggered and he's just calm and loving and gentle, and we work through it and we have aha moments and we realize the pattern and where it comes from, where it's like, oh, you know, my parents didn't talk about their feelings and they were avoidant. And so when I'd have big feelings, they would send me to my room for me to cry it out and deal with it by myself. And so that's why, like, I want to run away when we're having hard conversations, because I've never had the opportunity to work stuff out. So my husband and I have worked on this. This is just an example of me personally, like things that I've gone through, especially because my ex-husband was really abusive emotionally. And so like I'd tell him how I'd feel, and then he'd like gaslight me and like shut me down, and I'd become numb and stuff. And so like, yeah, we work through things. We had hard conversations now. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, we can have a hard conversation and I don't want to run away, and I'll like be calm and not like raise my voice and get all angry and crazy eyes and like, you know, just we've been working through it. And honestly, that's like another thing I want to kind of segue into is like every couple that I know right now around my age group, give or take, say like millennials, maybe some Gen Z? Yeah, Gen Zers. Like, we've all been going through growing pains in like this really loving way, where it's like we're trying to, we've had the honeymoon phase where we've come together and we have seen like how we're similar and like really like connected and like being similar and being with each other. And now like we're all collectively like trying to work out of these old like codependent like patterns. And so we're all like trying to come back to our authenticity by like doing things by ourselves and not like being with each other all the time. Because like my husband and I work from home and like see each other all the time, and it's like really healthy to like, you know, go do stuff by yourself and like make yourself feel good. And so a lot of us have been working through that, and it's like really nice when we can like talk about it and like talk about like the energies and the things that we're moving through and like how we're growing together like collectively. And so it's like it makes you be like, oh, I'm not alone. Okay, like we're going through this together and it's not just me. Because like sometimes, you know, you'll feel like it's just you, like going through these old patterns and like these old cycles and like wondering why like you have beef with your spouse or your significant other, and like just these cycles that keep coming. It's because like it's like we're onions, you know, and you keep peeling the layers back of the onion. And so you'll like learn things deeper and deeper until you get to the root of the problem. And then you're like, ah, this is what this is from. Okay. And so then it gives you a chance to like forgive like your parents, or like, you know, a traumatic event that happened to you in your childhood or your adolescence. And you're like, oh, well, I don't need to carry this anymore, because it's like subconsciously buried, you know, it's like stuck in there and you couldn't see it unless you're in a relationship. Relationships are seriously like the fast track to spiritual advancement. That's why we have relationships, because we're mirroring our deepest, darkest shadow wounds, shadow aspects of ourselves through one another. So like my husband, so we have this book, it's by the people that wrote the birthday book, but it's the book of relationships. And it can tell you, it's like got everyone's like birthdays and stuff and everyone's pairings, so you can figure out like who, you know, you and your partner's birthday and like what energy your relationship brings to one another and what lessons you're learning in the relationship. And like, so when my husband and I first met, we found this book and we read it, and he laughed and I sort of had a mini meltdown because it's true. But my husband brings out the shadow side of me. And it's true. Absolutely. And like I need that. I absolutely need that to grow and to move through things and to like really clean house and really like be hyper aware of like myself, you know, my subconscious, my conscious, all parts of like what the wiring that's going on with how I like show up in the world. Like I want to be very clear, you know, energetically. And it's helpful. I really needed this. I really needed this growth. It has like tested me like so hard, but I feel like in the past like 2 years I have grown so much in my life. Like I feel more adult, I feel more chill, I feel more patient, which I mean, I'm sure my husband could tell you like I'm not very patient, which I'm not, but I'm more patient than I was, which is amazing. Yeah, I definitely feel like I've matured a lot, which is amazing. I'm really appreciative of our relationship. I'm really appreciative of my husband. He's like a godsend, I swear to God. Like, he's like the only man that could ever put up with my bullshit. But also call me out on my bullshit too, which I mean, you're supposed to. You're supposed to lovingly hold each other accountable and help each other grow with love, you know? Because like you don't want someone to enable your bad behavior. You want to be the best version of yourself, but at the same time love each other for who you are. So it's nice. It's a really interesting relationship. Seriously, I've never had anyone love me the way he loves me. Like, it's been really hard 2 years. I've been like, he's seen me at my worst. I don't think anyone has ever seen me at like my worst, and he has seen it and he's loved me through it, and I'm like so grateful. I'm so grateful for such a strong, empowering partner. Like, really, he's an angel. He legit is like an angel incarnate. I mean, I know I am too now, but like when I first met him, he's like, I've seen my angelic self. I'm like, I see that in you. I do. I wish I could see that in me. And I have finally, but like he really is, he is an angel. He's a beautiful person. I'm so grateful for him. So yeah, a lot of people, I mean, and I think so since the lunar eclipse, which was back in March, yes, on the full moon, I can't remember exactly what date that was, 20-something, we've been in this eclipse portal period. And in this eclipse portal period, we have been going through relationships, and not just like, you know, romantic relationships, but like platonic relationships, work relationships. And so a lot of stuff is like being unearthed to like be seen, to be like analyzed, to like go back and look at, reflect on, to move through. And so I know a lot of people are reflecting on job relationships. That has like been a very big topic for a lot of my friends lately. And I've talked to a lot of them about it. But it's really interesting how like everyone is like going through these things together. And the more that we like talk about it and normalize it and like, you know, we're vulnerable and share, like the easier all these things will be. Like we don't have to do it by ourselves. That's why we have friends. That's why we have a village. It takes a village to move through stuff. Nobody is alone. Nobody is going through it alone. I think that's also why I kind of go through these videos, to help share and like be vulnerable and transparent about like stuff I'm going through, which is amazing. Like we need that. Yeah. So everything's gonna be okay. We're just transforming, and sometimes transforming is like burning away, releasing stuff that like isn't for our highest good and the best. It's not in alignment with us and where we're going. So if things fall away, like relationships, jobs, old habits, old ways of being, just let it. And, you know, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? Everything's going to be all right. So now I think I want to talk about Orgonite. So EMFs are real. They come from 5G towers. They come from cell phones. They come from Bluetooth speakers, earbuds, AirPods, whatever, your Wi-Fi router. They are very toxic. And so in Eugene, there's this big thing happening now with eWeb. So it's the Eugene electric company that does electric, water, all of our utility stuff in the city of Eugene. So us big hippies are fighting the eWeb. Because, so I have an older smart meter in my house from 2013. When we had one of our full moon sister gatherings at my house, the gals and I went and checked my smart meter, or checked my meter to see what it was. It's not a newer smart meter, but it's a smart meter nonetheless, and it emits EMFs. And so, yeah, we're fighting eWeb. I've signed petitions and stuff, but a lot of my friends are like, we have a lawyer. They got a lawyer, they're talking to people. We don't want these smart meters all on everybody's houses all across town. We already have 5G towers everywhere. And I shit you not, I'm so sensitive to those energies. I have to walk around. I have a pendant of Orgonite. I have this big pyramid too of Orgonite. I have a huge Orgonite pyramid, and I have a shungite cube and spear by our Wi-Fi router, which is in our bedroom because it's the only place where it plugs in. But okay, so EMF that comes off of, it's radiation. It is radiation that you can feel. Everyone feels it. Everyone's talking about how they feel bad. People have gained weight. They're not functioning the way they used to. And I have a little pendant. It's downstairs. I don't have it right now. But I have a little pendant that I wear when I go out, when I go to the gym, when I go out into public. And it makes me feel good, normal. How I used to feel before they turned on the 5G towers. And it's really interesting because so I got COVID in 2021, a couple weeks after they turned on the 5G towers, okay? And I haven't been the same since. I had COVID, it fucked me up, but I'm getting better. Thank God. Honestly, I'm getting better. I'm so healthy now. I've gone to the gym. It's amazing. And I'm not dying. Or I don't have to lay down for the rest of the evening and pray to God. You know what I mean? But this energy is not good. And so I also used to have, I never had the ear pods or whatever, the ones you put in your ears, but I have wireless, over the ear, like a headset that I used to wear when I'd go walking or hula hooping or whatever. And seriously, in the last year, I have noticed, I'll wear them for 30 minutes and then I'll feel like shit, the rest of the day. And I don't wear them anymore. I haven't worn them since last year, but I'll wear wired earphones because I still have a phone jack in my phone. I won't get a new phone unless it has a jack to plug in your wired earbuds. But I wear wired earbuds and I don't feel like shit. I wear my little Orgonite necklace, and I take this and I put it in with my phone on my fanny pack when I go to the gym, and I don't feel bothered by the EMFs, the electrical magnetic frequency transmission. I don't feel bad. And so I just want to bring awareness to my friends that you should be trying to do stuff that combats this. So there's also things you can do, so Faraday clothing. I have a Faraday poncho when we go traveling in the airplane because I'm very sensitive. And it helps me not be uber fatigued when we're traveling. I get pretty run down when we travel, especially because I had been sick the past 2 years. traveling I would get so sick. But now I don't. Now I'm getting better. But I really protect myself even more so by wearing a Faraday clothing. They have Faraday beanies, they have sweatshirts, they have pants. I have this little cute like Little Red Riding Hood like poncho thing. Super cute. They have Faraday cages. So like if, you know, we don't shut down the man and get the smart meters like gonzo, I'll probably get a Faraday cage for my smart meter. Because, you know, like, I can only deal with so much frequency poisoning, you know, because it causes cancer. It disrupts your body. It disrupts your hormones. It disrupts everything. And, like, I don't know. I don't know how, like, people are still functioning. Like, maybe, you know, they're not, you know, toxically overloaded. Before my cleanse, before, like, I did my 15-day cleanse, I was so, like toxically overloaded. Now I'm doing fine, you know? Now I feel better. I feel healthy. I feel happy. But before, I don't know. It was really rough. So, Orgonite. This is a handmade piece of Orgonite. I got this at, like, a metaphysical fair here in Eugene. What's really important with Orgonite is, like, the copper spiral. This also has copper BBs in it. And then there's like gold and silver and crushed up crystals. And so the purpose of Orgonite is to transmute energy. So you put this around your phone. So like it's around my phone. I always have this one around my phone. And then I don't feel any effects from the electromagnetic waves of the phone. So it transforms the energy, the negative energy, and it moves through this spiral of copper, and it transforms it into positive energy. Hello, Deacon. You want to say hi? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Say hi. This is my baby. Say hi. So these are really great tools. I have a necklace that I really like. I put this in like my backpack or like my fanny pack when I go to the gym. I have this one on my little altar in my living room. Archangel Metatron's cube. There's a nice crystal with the spiral. I think this is obsidian. Helps clear negative energy. I have a huge like rainbow chakra one down by our Wi-Fi router. Shungite is really good too. Shungite, we also drink Shungite elixir water. I've been drinking that for almost 2 months now. I drink half a gallon of it a day. But Shungite is a cleanser. It like detoxifies, it cleanses the water. But Shungite, like crystals, pyramids, cubes, spheres around your electronics and things really helps. Like, so if you work at home, having that in your office, having some Orgonite around there is really great for you. Pardon me. Yeah, so just trying to think about being healthier and combating the frequency emission. Just trying to adapt and overcome. That's all, and trying to be healthier as you could. You shouldn't be afraid of it because this is our reality, you know. It's just our bodies have the capacity to adapt, overcome, to evolve. It's just like, you know, you want to try to mitigate your toxic load, mitigate your exposure to it, and try to be better. So the more you know about Orgonite and Shungite. Yeah, so that's been stuff going on in my life. Trying to think of anything else that I want to talk about. I know I really wanted to talk about like divine counterparts, but I want my husband to kind of like co-star with me. I think that might be like the next Confessions of a Fleshy Star is talking about the twin flame phenomenon, the runner, the chaser, it's kind of like this toxic catalyst, unrequited love thing. But people get stuck in it. I got stuck in it. I got stuck in it for like 5 years. And my husband got stuck in it for like 10 years, where we like thought our twin flame was somebody else, and it was just like not going anywhere, you know, and it was super toxic for me and for him, because we're like pining over somebody that didn't love us, and they were like with somebody else, and it was just like, it was crazy. So like the online dogma information is not accurate, but a lot of people get stuck on it because like they don't really know, or they're new to it, or they're having these like awakening catalyst aha moments, which is like, it's all necessary and it's all planned. It's all like divinely orchestrated and planned. But it's just like, you want to put a label on it, you want to understand it, and that actually like takes away from the experience itself. And so yeah, I really would like to like, you know, have us talk about it together, because we both have similar yet different experiences, and kind of just like share our story, because, you know, like I was going on this twin flame journey, and I didn't know anything about it, and I'm so glad I didn't fall into like the pit holes of like all that crap on like Netflix and Amazon Prime of like the documentary of that guy and that woman that like, you know, preyed upon people. They're like legit predators and preyed upon people and their vulnerability, and like used them and manipulated them as some crap. Like, oh my God, like I'm so glad like I didn't fall into that, and I was like so like divinely protected, because I really could have fallen victim to that. I'm so glad I was safe and protected from that. And I feel bad because people like have these like really pivotal like metaphysical experiences that they don't know how to explain, and they're like looking for meaning and looking for like support, and then people just like prey upon them, which, to be fair, I was preyed upon too, because I was naive, you know. I understand it fully now, like in retrospection of like working through it, and like that's some of like the shadow work that my husband and I have had to go through together, was like these twin flame, false twin, I call them a catalyst, because they were a catalyst, but like, oh my gosh, it was so intense, so toxic, and it's so sad. Like him and my husband and I were both like taken advantage of, like spiritually, by these people, because they were kind of like energy vampires, you know? And again, like it was agreed upon. I made peace with like the fact that like, you know, someone was like being an energy vampire, like succubus, like using my energy. But it's okay, because I was generating so much energy. If he didn't do that, I probably wouldn't be in the body. So I'm grateful. Long story short. But I think that's something I really want to expand upon in the next episode of Confessions of a Fleshy Star. And maybe even talk about like karmic relationships, karmic soulmates, because that was all part of my journey. Okay, so friends, I love you so much. Be safe out there. Meditate and focus on good things on the eclipse on Monday. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. You're safe, you're protected, you're guided. And, you know, if things are falling apart, it's for a reason. It's for a higher reason, and it'll be all right. Just move through it. Feel how you feel. You're okay. It's okay to not be okay. But it's going to be all right. So I love you, friends, and I look forward to seeing you all again in this energetic space, and have a great rest of your weekend.